Michael Myers is one of the biggest horror villain icons ever in the genre. But what if they've only made one movie, just only the 1978 movie, and then never made another movie after that one? Would he have been forgotten, or would we still talk about him today? The answer to that question, I think the outcome would have still been the same way. Hi, I'm Cristopher Zamora. I make horror videos. I talk about horror movies, horror characters, basically anything horror related. So if you guys like that, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and keep watching. Maybe people will still be coming back to that movie over and over again because that movie basically created all those cliches that we know of today. A few cliches that I'm thinking of for Halloween was when she ran up the stairs and she hid away from Michael Myers. And also the stereotypical characters they use, like Laurie is the innocent one and her friends are like mostly outgoing. Another cliche is also that she's the final girl in the movie. Everybody else has been killed and she's the only person left in the movie not yet to be killed. And the one cliche that most of the other serial killers use, they wear a mask. Before Halloween 1978, there was just one other person that used a mask to hide their face, and that person I'm talking about was Leatherface. He hid himself because he didn't want anybody else to see how his face looks. He was afraid, and like his face was kind of deformed. But for Michael Myers, the main reason why Michael Myers wears a mask is to hide his identity. But the other reason why is because maybe he's afraid of the world himself. He doesn't want to look at anybody. This is where I got from the 2007 Halloween movie. Michael Myers is afraid of the world and doesn't want anybody else to look at him. After Halloween 1978 came out, another horror icon came into the abyss, and that was Jason. Well, first in the Friday the 13th movie, the original one, his mother was the actual killer. He didn't come in until the second movie, and they started using the iconic mask that we all know him for on the third movie. So that's like another cliche that mostly other horror movies use. What I'm trying to say is that Michael Myers' character and also how he carries himself, most of the horror icons today, or like the iconic ones that we know of, the creators actually got inspiration from Michael Myers because they made horror movies similar to the formula they used in Halloween 1978. I doubted that things would have been different because since this is the most important film in horror, this is why people like the character, because he's very silent and he doesn't really run to you. He like walks towards you and somehow, some way, he just always catches up to the person that he's trying to kill. Other horror movie creators have drawn inspiration by the movie of Halloween 1978 and also the horror icon of Michael Myers. That is why I'm asking, will Michael Myers be just as popular as he was back then in 1978 if they have only made one movie? I highly doubt it. But the inspiration for the character in every other movie, yes, people will still be referring to that movie years and years. I think horror will still be the same, but Michael Myers himself probably would not be as popular as every other character in the horror franchise because they've only made one movie. That's the movie that actually created the horror tropes that we know of today, and it created the formula how a horror movie should be like. That's actually a good thing because it gives you a formula how something can actually work for a movie or not. And we've seen horror movies today that have actually followed the same formula how it was back then, and they try to twist it a little bit and try to make it their own as well. Sometimes it works and sometimes it really doesn't. But like that's the good thing about horror. People can make almost anything horror related and make it work. Another thing that I want to talk about is the Terrifier movie series. What if Terrifier actually came out like in the 80s and then never made another movie since? People, I believe, will still be referring to that movie over and over again. If you have seen the first movie, then you will know why I'm referring to that movie. Because that movie was actually scary and is very gory. People will be referring to that movie today. How creepy it was back in the 80s. Yeah, and that's why I believe nothing would have really changed for the inspiration of Michael Myers. The movie for Halloween 1978, it wasn't that gory. Well, actually, there was no blood at all used for this movie. It was just mostly the anticipation of what was going to happen next and how the character was going to survive. And that's what made this movie work for other horror creators that came after Halloween 1978 to make their own horror characters work in the horror genre. And that is what I think about what if Michael Myers was just a one hit wonder. Things would have still played out kind of the same way if it weren't for Halloween 1978. Well, that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more videos. As always, live to the fullest.